Yo guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, well actually this morning as I woke up, I saw that there were some balance changes, not posted yet, they're work in progress, but they will be coming into the game within a few days, and there's a lot of them, a lot of buffs, a lot of nerfs, and they are very like meta shaking. There's some really big ones in here, so definitely gonna try if I can see if I can get like all these in this video and show you guys what's happening, and then also my first impressions on how the meta is gonna look. So yeah, let's hop right into it. All right, so first of all is Piper. She's getting a lot of love. Well, she gets two buffs. First of all, her max health at max level is going from 5,000 to 5,600. So with shield gear, that means extra 600 health. You're gonna have 6,500. You're still gonna die in 3 shots to like a Brock, but now it takes 4 shots to die to a Bell. So Piper already wins that kind of matchup, but it's a decent health bonus. Like health buffs typically need to be like around like 7% to really see like a kind of impact. But yeah, this is like a pretty good buff for her. Another one is her damage at max range. So currently it should be 3,400. Yep, but now that's increasing to 3,600. So now with a 2-tap you can do 7,200 damage, and that should allow you to take care of a couple more of your matchups a little bit more easier. And just extra damage for someone like Piper is definitely something that she needs. It's going to make your shots feel a lot more rewarding, and I definitely think this will help her in the meta. You're going to see her a little bit more in modes like Bounty and Knockout, but still definitely has her glaring counters, of course loses to aggros. But yeah, that is the first part of the balances. Next up is Mandy, and honestly this is a really big buff. So Piper got an extra 200 damage bonus at max range, but Mandy doesn't matter like the range that you're at. It's going from 2,600 per shot all the way to 2,960. So essentially it's 3,000 damage. So with 3 shots you're going to be doing 9,000 damage pretty much. That's a lot. You could almost think of Mandy sort of like, could be like a good like tank counter in like a knockout or bounty, because she just does so much damage, and of course her super's always been hard to hit but very rewarding. And then also she's getting her star power, the bad star power buffed, where if you stand still, I'm using the one where it makes your shots faster, you should always use that one, but her shield's getting buffed from 40% when you're standing still to 50%. I still don't think that's going to make it the better star power. That star power is just objectively awful because you can't hit your shots at all. So like, what's the point of ever using it? But yeah, that is what Mandy's getting. Next up is Gale. Now his normal attack is staying the same, health is staying the same. He's only getting changes now to his super. So right now his super does 1,200. It's getting buffed by what is that? Extra 400 by 33%. Jeez, it's going all the way up to 1,600. Now that might not sound like a lot, but 400 damage is actually like a pretty big increase for something like a Gale super. Like you can definitely like snipe kills now like a lot more like easy. And then he's also getting increased charge rate from his super. So when you use your super, you get about that much, however much that is, back to your next super. That's going to be increased by 9%. Now, 9%, like I said, typically for these buffs to be substantial, you're looking at anything above like that 7% range. So this is definitely going to help him a lot. He's going to cycle his supers faster. And the faster you cycle your supers, the faster you're going to cycle your hypercharge too. So there's also a third indirect buff to his hypercharge rate, technically, because you're going to get more supers quicker, so you're gonna get your hypercharge faster too. So this is definitely gonna make Gale like a lot better. I definitely think Gale's pretty underrated right now, but this might shoot him up to somewhere in like the A tier, if not at least the high B tier. So especially with global bans, Gale was never gonna be global banned. You're always gonna see people like Otis, maybe Chester, maybe not so much after these balances. But yeah, definitely look out for Gale after these set of changes. All right, the next change is to Tara's reload speed. So right now, Tara doesn't have the fastest reload, so I'm going to shoot 3 shots right here. It does take a good amount of time to get your shots back. It's not horrible, but it is pretty slow. But she's getting a 10% increase to her reload speed. Now, that is substantial, and I think this will definitely help her a lot, because she kind of struggles with, bursting down her opponents and just having, like, that extra piece of ammo to get, like, finish off kills and stuff like that. So I definitely think this will help her. I don't think it'll help her immensely, but I definitely think you're going to see her a lot more after this. So really good change here for Tara. Next up is Lou, and I'm honestly very scared about this. This seems like a really good buff. So right now, you can see his projectiles, not the easiest to hit, and like they're pretty small as well. But after this, he's getting a 20% increase to the size of his projectile, which, I mean, I don't know. That just seems really, really good. Like having like they increased his reload speed by a lot a good while back, and that made him really, really good. Like right now, you can see his reload speed is pretty fast. And now that his shots are gonna be even bigger, you're gonna hit way more shots, way more consistently. Gonna get even more supers. Hot zone is gonna be a huge threat. But now I even think in modes like Brawl Ball, if you're gonna be hitting this many shots, it could be a good counter to Shade, because now Shade can't super through walls. Very, very good tank counter now, because once again, you're gonna be hitting your shots so much more. So I definitely think this is going to be really, really good change for Lil. Like, even brawlers like Stu that counter it, because you're able to dodge those shots, now they're going to be, like, so big. 20%, that's a lot. Like, just think about it. Like, 20, that's so... I actually don't know why they're doing this, to be honest. But, yeah, that is the change that Lu's getting. Now, when Shelly first got her buffies, she was really, really good. A top-tier tank counter. Her dash was really good. Clay Pigeons at the beginning was also very good. But now the avenue that they're going down is, so for her slow, for Shell Shock, the slow and explosion radius is increased. So I guess, I don't know, they're just going to go further back and they're going to get slowed for a little bit longer, which I guess will help you confirm kills. I still don't see this being better than Band-Aid, but definitely a good change for Shelly. And then next up, her gadget for the dash. It has a pretty long cooldown, 20 seconds. It's getting all the way nerfed, or well, buffed technically, to 16 seconds. So 4 seconds, you're going to have it faster. I think that's actually a really, really good and important change. And I definitely think you're going to see a good bit more Shelly now to maybe even counter out, again, brawlers like Shade, like breaking open the walls. Definitely going to be really, really good into tanks. I'm not sure if we're going to see a lot of Bull anymore. But for other tanks that you do see, I do think that Shelly is going to be a little bit better at taking care of them. These next changes are all to throwers. So they're really wanting to give the throwers some love here. I just think that I don't know, the numbers are probably showing that throwers aren't being utilized that much, which they're probably right. I'm not seeing too many throwers in my game, with brawlers like Mortis and Edgar being a thing. So yeah, definitely show them some love here. This gadget, Satchel Charge, which does stun your enemy. It's usually a 23-second cooldown, but it's going down to 20 seconds, so pretty decent buff there, but nothing too crazy that I think will impact him. The other one, though, his reload speed is going to increase by 12.5%. Dynamite, it does not have a slow reload. It's a pretty average one, but 12.5. Dynamite's going to be throwing out way more shots, which means he's going to be able to hit way more shots, and I think this will definitely help him be a good last pick, because definitely still does like a ton of damage with his super and his hypercharge, of course. But still think he's going to be very situational, very hard to hit his shots up close for sure. But definitely good to see him get some buffs. All right, now it's Larry and Lori, who's getting a 33% damage increase on the bots. So for Lori, so usually each one of those little projectiles is 300. So you're seeing like 900 and 1500 because he's hitting the boss. But now that's going up to 400. So these numbers, you would see like 800 and then 1600 and stuff like that. So actually, it would be more. It'd be 2,000, not 1,500. So yeah, it's a really, really good bonus. Like, I definitely think that this is going to make Larry a lot better, because he's one of the throwers who's, like, pretty safe against aggros for the most part because of this bot. He can, like, you know, use his gadget, change places, has the ammo star power. So I definitely think this is a really, really good buff for Larry. Now, he also has a second buff here where he's going to get his main health increase from 6,000 to 6,600 at max level. So with shield gear, I would go up to 7,500 health, which is going to help him survive a lot more, have more survivability. And I definitely think this will make him like a pretty good brawler, definitely in that high B tier, maybe creeping into the A tier if these nerfs for the assassins are as big as I think they're going to be. But yeah, definitely think these buffs for Larry are very, very good. They're also showing some love to Juju, but with a pretty substantial buff, to be honest. At max level, her Gree is going to go from 7,200 health to 8,000 health. So 800 extra for this was very comparable to Anita Bear. Actually, might be the same as Anita Bear. But yeah, to have like a ranged attack with that much health, and then on top of that, you can still run the shield star power. I definitely think this is going to be a really, really good bonus, because it's really good versus aggros. Like Mortis has a hard time dealing with it, and so too Edgar. So yeah, definitely think it's going to make Juju really good as well. Probably in the same spot as Larry and Lori. The next change is to Sprout, again with the buffs. She gets an 11.76% increase to her reload speed. Her reload speed's not that fast, not too slow though, but this is definitely going to make it so she can shoot out way more shots. So definitely still going to be good, even better maybe, as like a good last pick in Knockout. Bounty, maybe. Bounty, you're going to see a little bit more aggros though, but I think Knockout definitely will be a really solid last pick. And then her damage is going from at max level 2080, as you guys can see here, and it's going to be 2200. So an extra 120 damage. That's pretty good. You're going to do 6600 now with 3 shots at a burst. Not sure if it's going to help take care of many. I think, yeah, you're going to be able to still 3-shot Piper the same. And I think now, though, you can 3-shot... No, you still can't 3-shot a Belle. Actually, no, you can. You can still. Okay, never mind. I actually don't know what this change is going to do, to be honest. But I guess extra damage is always warranted. This next change to Barley is a bit of an interesting one. So nothing's getting changed with his main attack or gadgets, but it's actually the speed at which his super gets thrown out. So that's how it looks right now. But after this change, it'll go out 13% faster, which is a pretty substantial buff. But this also applies to the hyper. So the hypercharge does go out pretty fast, but it's going to get a 9.3% buff. So that's going to be pretty darn fast. It's going to be hard for people to get out of that radius. So I do think Barley, once again, is going to be a good last pick in, like, Hot Zone, maybe even sometimes in, like, Hot Potato and Heist if there's no aggros. But, yeah, definitely some good buffs for Barley here, too. That was it for the throwers, so we're going to go on to Carl now. Now, Carl's always interesting because it feels like every time you buff him, he becomes, like, busted, and then they have to nerf him back into the ground. But right now, his pickaxe is 1480 there and back. That's getting buffed to 1640, so 160... damage increase, which is pretty good. That's like 320 if you hit both shots. So I'm not sure how much it's going to help him, but I guess a small buff to him does help. And like I said, in like the history of the game, when Carl gets like even a small buff to his main attack, whether it be the damage or speed, he becomes like pretty good. So I guess we'll see what happens. Next up is Gray. Now, Gray's honestly fell off like a lot within this meta. Like you've rarely seen him at all. Like he kind of just loses to everything. Kind of hard to hit his shots, and he's still a good in like Hot Zone cheese, but like he just kind of lost like his place in bounty and knockout. So hopefully these buffs will help him. Now the first buff is to his main attack damage, 2,320. Normally it's gonna go up to 2,560. Now for a brawler like Gray, I think that's actually really good. Like an extra 240 damage. I definitely think that's a substantial buff. It's about 10%. So yeah, I do think this will help him a lot. Now the other one is to his Grand Piano gadget. I'm not using it right now, but when you do rarely use that on like out in the open or Gold Arm Gulch, the piano is going to fall down 40% faster. I really don't think that's going to do anything to that gadget. The gadget is still going to have the same use case. You're not really going to see it used ever because this gadget is one of the best ones in the game. So yeah, but the damage bonus, I definitely think is going to help Gray a lot. This next one is to Charlie. So she does 1600 with her normal attack. That's going all the way up to 1800. Now, for someone like Charlie, I think that's a pretty substantial buff. Like that's a lot. Like you're doing an extra 200 damage with every single shot. She's gonna be really good now versus tanks. Like, and even maybe even assassins. The best thing about Charlie is like buffing her supercharge rate, because the more you have your super, then the more safe you are versus like pretty much everything like aggros and tanks. But I do think this is definitely going to help her. Charlie wasn't a bad brawler to begin with, but I think this will put her somewhere in that A high B tier kind of range. So yeah, definitely a good change for her. This next change is to Pearl. So now every time that you you use your main attack, you're going to consume less heat. So I'm going to get to like full heat once again. You use about like 25% of your heat with every single shot, but now you're consuming 15.5% less. So that's actually really good. You might begin to see her in some other game modes, because now like as long as like you have your heat with Pearl, then Pearl's a very good brawler. Like with one full shot, with full heat, that's 6,000 damage. Like I think this is going to be a pretty good change, and you might see Pearl outside of modes like Knockout, and I think that's going to be very beneficial for her. Next thing for Surge is he has a nerf, which I'll get to later, but in terms of his buff, his normal movement speed is getting increased by 5%, so he's not going to be slow anymore, which means they're kind of reworking Surge in a way. So yeah, it's not going to give him like the speed increase from his super. So yeah, very interesting. I'll get more into this when we get to his nerf, but yeah, this will be a very interesting change. If you guys have been in my streams, you guys will know that I've been saying Star Nova is not very strong, and she does definitely need some buffs. Now, she's getting 3 of them. Her health at max level is going from 7,400 to 7,800, so 400 health. Nothing crazy, but definitely helps as like an assassin. Next is her main attack damage, going from 1080 all the way to 1320. Now, that is substantial because there's 2 shots within each main attack. I think that's definitely what she needed. I feel like she didn't do too much damage, so very, very good change. I definitely anticipate her being a little bit better now. And then the damage during her super is going from 2,000 to 2,200, so a nice little 10% bonus right here, which I definitely think is also going to be very, very good. So yeah, Star Nova definitely got the buffs that I was looking for, and I think she's going to be within that A tier range now. I also forgot there is actually one more change. Her healing now is 324 on her star power, but now it's going to be 468. The star power is kind of bad. Both of the star powers are pretty bad, to be honest, but yeah, I don't really think that buff does anything, but the other 3 I think are definitely huge for her. Next up is Buzz. Now, Buzz has always been a really good counter pick into Assassins, and like into Kenji, like Buzz will always win that. Like his super is very, very strong because you can like cycle it so easily once you get your first one. But yeah, his super charge rate is now decently fast. This is with 2 people inside of it, but now it's going to get an extra 4.1% buff, so it's going to be pretty good. And then the same thing goes for the hypercharge, but the hypercharge is getting buffed by 20%. So it's going to take him way less now to get his hypercharge, which I think is very, very good. You guys did not see that. But yeah, Buzz is definitely going to be a lot better right now because the hypercharge is very game-changing, and getting faster supers means that you can counter like what you're meant to counter a lot easier. So yeah, definitely really good changes here for Buzz. Okay, I'm not very happy about this. I know they nerfed Spike into the ground with his damage because now it's 980, which we'll see right here. Yeah, but it's going buffed all the way back to 1200. So Spike's going to be good again, which kind of sucks. Going to be in that A tier, very, very safe brawler once again. But at least his gadget doesn't do that much damage in your face anymore. So I guess we'll see, but I don't really like this. I don't like seeing Spike be good anymore. Griff is getting 3 buffs here, but I really think they're pretty useless. It's just to the coin shower gadget. It does 400 damage. It's going to go up to 600, so 50% bonus, but I don't really think that gadget's very good. And then it's also going to last an extra second, so yeah, nothing too crazy with that. But he does have, for the Keep the Change Buffy, where you shoot 4 of these. I always said, if you guys were watching my streams, to not use this one because it takes way too long to shoot out your shots. It makes you really vulnerable. But now they're going to make it so they shoot out faster. So it's going to be about the same, which means that like you're going to maybe want to use this one more over Business Resilience because the bonus damage you get from this Buffy is like kind of ridiculous. Like that's almost 10,000 damage from 1 full ammo. But yeah, I think that last buff is pretty good for Griff. Makes other star power usable. But the other one to his gadget, I don't think are going to change much. I never thought I'd say Damien's getting buffs, but Damien's getting 2 buffs. The damage that his speakers do on the outside, it's going from 1,200, you guys saw right there, to 1,600. So it's getting a 400, that's a 33% buff to his super damage. Now this also applies to his hypercharge. So the hypercharge, it does 800, but that's going to go all the way up to 1,200. So another 50% bonus right there, and that's kind of scary. I don't know why we're buffing Damien, but yeah, enjoy that, guys. That was it for the buffs. Now everything from here on out is a nerf. So the bonus speed that you get from using his super is getting reduced by 17.6%. So here's the buffs and the nerf with Surge. Here's what it means. So now Surge just has a normal movement speed, and you're not gaining that bonus speed. So like, you see how fast you are, like after you get this, you're not going to be that fast. So it just makes him more consistent, maybe easier now to ramp up, but it's not as rewarding when you do get your super, but you are going to get it more often. So it's kind of interesting, but I guess we'll see how it is. Next up, we have the nerfs to Colette. So the gadget, this annoying gadget that hypnotizes enemies through walls, by the way, that's getting its cooldown increased from 17 seconds to 22 seconds. So that's a pretty good nerf already. The shield from her mass tax is going from 75% to 60%. Another good one. Her supercharge rate, it's going to lose 10%. So now it's going to take 5 shots to charge a super instead of the 4 that it takes right now. And then also the supercharge rate, like how much you get back from a super by using your super, is going down as well. So it'll take... you can't like get a super, 2 shots in a super. It's a super, then 3 shots in a super. So I definitely think that was the right way to nerf Colette, and I'm very, very happy about this. And she should definitely fall down a little bit. I fear they killed Crow. So now you see how his shots like normally spread out. that's getting increased by 77.77%. So like, think about Clancy's shot, kind of like, but with like before it got buffed. So like, his shot is gonna be very hard to hit consistently, like with his attacks, and like, I don't know, that Loki kills him, but I'm glad. And then his hyper return damage is reduced. It's now usually it's like a 20% reduction, but now it's a 40% reduction. So the knives that come back, they do 40% less damage instead of 20% less damage. So definitely a pretty good nerf right there. And I definitely anticipate Crow being a little bit worse. Still very good because he's once again very annoying, but definitely going to be a good amount worse. Leon is not getting away from this. He is getting a small nerf. His lollipop is going from 3,000 health to 2,000 health. So that's a pretty substantial nerf. That's like 1,000 health off. So that's a 33% nerf. But yeah, it's going to be very, like, a lot easier to take out. Like, Otis gadget is going to take it out faster. So yeah, he's definitely going to have it up, like, a lot less. But it still has a pretty short cooldown. Oh, never mind, it has 20 seconds. Actually, that's a pretty good nerf then. So I do think Leon's still going to be a pretty good brawler. But yeah, definitely going to be a little bit worse. I am so glad we're seeing Mortis get nerfed. And it's exactly what I wanted to see get nerfed. This stupid gadget is going from 15-second cooldown. It's going to be 18 seconds after. And the bonus damage when someone's underneath half health is going from 50% to 30%. So if someone's below half health, Combo Spinner would do 3,000 damage. But this time it'll only do, chat, what is 30% extra damage? Whatever that is, I'm too lazy to do the math right now. But it'll definitely be a good amount less. So you can definitely survive now a lot more than you could before. Anyway, 2,000 was 30% of 2,000. 30% of 1,000 is 300. So it'll do 2,600 damage instead of 3,000. So 400 damage nerf when a brawler is below half health. So that's definitely a really good nerf. And I really hope that tones him down. But I do still think he's going to be pretty good. And then his other gadget, the amount of healing and damage that it does is going from 1,520 to 1,400. No one really uses that gadget. And you don't really get too much value from it like anyway. So yeah, that doesn't really do too much. But I really hope he's going to be like a little bit worse. But he probably won't be. Edgar's getting some nerfs here too. His first gadget, the Scarf, is going from 14 seconds to 18 seconds, which makes sense because this is such a good gadget to have such a short cooldown. Now, with the Fisticuff star power, the amount of healing that you get when you take a brawler down is going to be decreased from 30% of his max health to only 20% of his max health. So it's going to take some damage here. And I forgot I could heal a little bit. I'm just going to take a little bit more damage. So I heal, oh, it doesn't even work in here, but I think I heal like 2,000 something. But now it's going to be a little bit less. So it's going to make Fisticuffs a little bit worse. But the star power itself is pretty good. They're nerfing pretty much the Buffy version of the thing, which is pretty nice. And then the last nerf is his hypercharge rate is going to be 17.5% like harder to get. It takes longer to charge, which is nice because his hyper can be like really, really game changing. He's going to be chaining all these jumps over and over and over again. So yeah, definitely tones Edgar down a good amount. He's still like pretty easy to counter, but when he gets a good matchup, it's almost impossible to beat him. I really, really hate to see Mina get nerfed, but it's been about time. So her windmill has kept getting nerfed for like the longest amount of time. It went from like 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds, and now it's going all the way to 1 second. So it's gonna last even a shorter amount of time. But once again, still a good gadget. I was like, even if it's half a second, it'd be a good gadget. But yeah. Now also the pretty big nerf, because it also impacts like her star power, is her like last sequence is not going to do 4,000. It's going to do 30,600. So 10% nerf. It's pretty big. But that also means that she's going to heal less because it heals based on how much damage you do. So instead of healing 2,000 from that sequence, you're only going to heal 1,800 because, like I said, it's half of it. So yeah, Mina's going to be a little bit worse. I really hope it doesn't cripple her too much because I do love playing Mina, and I like seeing Mina be good at the game. But yeah, definitely going to tone her down. Chester is getting a whopping 4 nerfs, much deserved, really, really deserved. So I don't have the correct super right now. I want to see if I can even get it so I can showcase this to you guys. But okay, well, it's the bomb. The bomb damage is going from 3,760 all the way to 3,200. So 560 damage nerf, and this also applies to the hypercharge, which you guys can see. Well, also because there's the poison damage on top of him. But just the explosion itself, that does less damage. Same thing with the super. And then with candy beans, when you get the damage one, you get a 25% bonus typically, but now that's going to 20%. And then this, I think, is really, really good. When you get red Chester, which increases your reload speed, that's getting a nerf of 25%. So it's definitely going to be way less strong. Okay, it's got like health and speed. I'm actually so like unlucky. But yeah, Chester's going to be toned down a good amount. Still is good because like nothing happened to his damage or his other supers. And the hypercharge really is the poison. That's the best part about it. So I don't think he's going to die. Like, he's still going to be very, very good in the meta. But, yeah, he's definitely going to be a little bit worse, but still very, very good. Okay, wait, we got the bomb. So the bomb, yeah, it does 3760, but it'll be only 3200. So 560 damage nerf after the update. But the poison is still very, very good. Ruffs is getting a nerf here. I think he deserved one, and this is exactly the nerf I thought he was going to get, which is to his hypercharge, because it's busted. Like, giving any brawler like a second hypercharge is really, really good. So I'm just going to pop it right here and then toss down a super. But usually, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is about half, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So it'll take 16 projectiles, like 17 projectiles normally to get it, but now with a 12.5% nerf, it'll take about like 2 or 3 more shots. Nothing too crazy, but it'll definitely make it so you're going to get less hypercharges. And I think that's definitely like the nerf that they should have given to Ruffs, so definitely happy about that. You guys have no idea how happy this nerf makes me. It's to the Rage Quit gadget. So usually it is 18-second cooldown. It's going up to 20. They really could have made that more, to be honest. And it also has a 20% shorter radius, because it actually has you can't even see what the radius is, but it's pretty big. It's about the size of this thing, but now it's 20% reduction. So it'll affect way less like people like in an area, but it'll still be a pretty good gadget. I think like Meeple's still going to be a pretty decent brawler in this meta, but I'm very glad they nerfed it because this gadget can be so annoying. Shade has been escaping nerfs for like 5 updates in a row, which is like kind of crazy. But yeah, he's finally going to get one to his hypercharge rate. It's getting a 15% nerf, which I think is definitely the nerf they should have given, because I feel like you get it very, very fast. Like, once you use your first super, you pretty much get your hypercharge, which is kind of crazy, which it'll still happen, but it'll be a little bit harder to get, just a little bit though, nothing too crazy. But yeah, still going to be pretty good brawler. Like, Shade's just like a fundamentally strong brawler. But yeah, definitely a good nerf. Lumi is also getting a nerf, which I think she deserved, but I think Adrian did such a good job. Like, these are genuinely the nerfs that we needed. Like, Mortis gadget getting nerfed, the Chester nerfs were really good, the Mina nerfs were pretty good too, Colette's one were really good, Ruffs was perfect, Meeple was perfect, Shade was perfect. Like, everything's been so good, and I think this is also really good nerf. But yeah, it's to the ice gadget. So it's going from a 3.9 second duration, so 4 seconds pretty much, to 3 seconds, so about a 25% nerf, which is pretty good, because the ice is like pretty much like the really, really like annoying thing about Lumi. And it's also going to have a little bit of a less like smaller size. So that's how big they are now. But now their radius will get reduced by 14%. So it's a pretty substantial nerf. I don't think it'll make Lumi bad, but it'll make her less annoying, because that gadget can genuinely be one of the most annoying things in the game. Those of you who watch me know I hate on Naja for being a pretty bad brawler, but yeah, she's getting nerfs, which I think are good, because like her super is annoying, and like she's good in like knockout, but like besides that, like this brawler is like kind of crap. Like, you cannot play this thing on Hot Zone or Brawl Ball. But yeah, the landing damage, for some reason it was 1300. Like, I don't know why, but now it should get reduced down to 800. Which is pretty nice. So a pretty substantial nerf there. 500 damage nerf from 1300 to 1800, or to 800. And then the charge rate that you get, like your super back from your super, is getting nerfed by 37.5%. So we're gonna throw this super, and yeah, those, like, if all of them hit, you pretty much get your super back, but now it's gonna be like nowhere near that with a 37.5% nerf. And then the amount of health that our hypercharged snakes have is going from 4,000 down to 3,000. So it's going to make them a lot easier to take down. And yeah, these are some pretty good nerfs to Naja. I still don't think she's a good brawler, really, like besides knockout. But yeah. Pierce is getting nerfs to not his damage, not his shots, but just to his gadgets, which I think perfect. Once again, this really, really annoying gadget, the bottomless mags one, which pretty much gives you a free 3K and another one. So that's going to go from 18 seconds up to 22. I really like that. And the other gadget, the shield, has a 12-second cooldown. It's going all the way up 50% nerf to 18 seconds. So I didn't really like that gadget. It didn't really knock people back too far. So like assassins could still definitely kill you. But yeah, now it's just going to be like even harder if you're using that gadget because you're not going to have it up as often. So you can definitely kill him very like, easier as an assassin. But yeah, I still anticipate Pierce being pretty good. Oh my god, dude, like this is so much fun in Training Cave. But yeah, definitely some good nerfs though. I've always thought Ashe is underrated. He hasn't been meta for a little bit, but he's getting a nerf, actually. A 30% nerf, which is pretty substantial, too, is a hypercharge. So you're going to have your hypercharge up a lot less frequently, which is kind of weird. I'm just going to use it right now. I want to see how many hits it usually takes. So this is without the super. Of course, you are getting more when you're raged up. But yeah, it does take not that long. Like I'm already going to get it after about 6 to 7 shots here. With the full rage, of course. So it's pretty fast. So maybe take an extra like 2 shots maybe to get your hypercharge, which is not the end of the world. But he's getting a rework. Ashe now has the tank trait. So tank trait means, of course, as you take damage, you charge your super. So that's definitely interesting. Wow, okay, having the tank trait is very cool. That's going to make it, I think Ashe is going to be a lot better now. Like if you get your super passively, you can definitely like push up into like those harder matchups with your rats. And then also like farm your rage easier because the longer you have your rage, that's why Rotten Banana is such a good gadget, then the better you're going to be. Sort of like Pearl. Like if Pearl has her heat, then Pearl's really good. If Ashe has his rage, Ashe is really good. So I really hope we see Ashe in like the A tier. That would be really, really nice. Spike is also getting a nerf. It's a 17% nerf to his supercharge rate. So right now, it's 3 projectiles in each of these shots. So if I did that, I would not have gotten my super because, well, like it'll take an extra like 1 or 2, I think like 2 or 3 actually of like these needles to actually get the super. So that's actually really, really nice. I'm glad. But combined with the buff, I think Spike's going to be in like that high B. Like, a lot of these brawlers are going to be at that high B tier, kind of A tier, because like these buffs could definitely do work. But you don't really know until like you see the meta. And Griff now with a much-deserved nerf to his piggy bank. The explosion radius when you explode it like that is getting a 17% reduction to the area. I am very, very glad because that is just so annoying. Like playing against like Griff Pierce is like, oh, it's genuinely just torture. So that'll just definitely tone that down a lot. And then last but not least, I don't know why this is as a rework. I guess it is a rework, but it's a nerf. So now the speakers, they break after 1 bounce. So if you like bounce into it, they're going to break. And they also take only 1 shot to get rid of now. So I think that's very, very good. I guess that's why they buffed him. But yeah, definitely very, very happy about that. That's just really, really good change. So yeah, these are all the balance changes that are going to be coming to the game. These are work in progress, so they are subject to change before they get released. I will make some videos as soon as they come out, testing out all these balance changes, letting you guys know the meta and who to max out and everything like that. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go for 400 likes in this video, and I will see you guys later. Peace.